Now, let me get this out the way. God is good all the time. Once again, I repeat that. God is good all the time. Now, to my right on this computer, there sits two pieces of trash, garbage, fecal matter, and pieces of shit that add on to it named Mayor Stoney and Governor Blackface. That's exactly what these two lying sons of bitches are. Now, I've been to the Lee Monument all over Richmond, and I went from one end of Richmond all the way to the other end. And I can say without a shadow of a doubt, these jackasses are the ones that has put Richmond deep into the grave and dumped a whole bunch of dirt over it and basically stomped Richmond straight on down to it ain't no more. Now, people who are very, very familiar with me know I'm not the establishment type, and I definitely ain't the token for anybody. I call it the way I see it and tell it like it is, whether you like it or not. What I have seen and what I have researched about how the homeless in Richmond have been treated, how they have been misled, and now how they've been left abandoned and on to their own devices. And now we are seeing the impact full blown all over Richmond about exactly how bad things are. Now, I spoke to Rhonda Sneed, who handles Kathy's camp. I spoke to several other groups. I also had a chance to bring these matters to Leon Benjamin, who is going to make a great U.S. congressman. And how dare they use $1.8 million to remove a statue. And during this process, they also made arrangements to tear down the camp based off of conditions that they promised people and did not fulfill. Governor Blackface and Mayor Stoney are nothing more than puppets for the DNC, and all they have done is told people everything that the Democrats normally do. We're going to give you this, we're going to give you that, and all this other crap, all while trying to destroy our history and exactly what makes Virginia, Virginia. Now, with this 1.8 million, they left our Confederate statues, our American history, at a water treatment plant to rot and to basically be taken and used as a display of bullshit that Mayor Stoney and Governor Northam plotted, conspired, and conjured up to attack Virginia and its morals and valuables, principles, and history right at its core. just for some self-glory so they can say to themselves, we ain't racist, even though there's real racism in what you did behind that 1.8 million. Let me say it clearly. Racism ain't just about race. Racism is how you treat people in general that also doesn't seem to look like you, act like you, or talk like you, but you treated them like pieces of shit that you can just throw away and leave abandoned and basically do whatever you want because you feel like they don't have a voice, because they don't have a vote, because you feel like their residential address doesn't exist. I have never been more disgusted at not only city leaders, but state leaders to know right there at the state capitol, there's homelessness going rampant all over the city based off of one Governor Northam's shutdown orders and Mayor Stoney's ignorance to the truth, because he's so blinded by being a DNC bullshitter that he has left his city behind. And you'll be dumb as hell to continue to vote for this bastard, because exactly what he has done to the homeless will be done to you if you go in this direction. They made promises, people, to those who was left out on the streets and said that they was going to do everything in their power to fight homelessness there in the city of Richmond. Well, we have found out that the money didn't go to homelessness. It went towards our own self-destruction, exactly what the Marxists want and exactly what they gave them at the expense of Americans, at the expense of veterans, at the expense of people that live, breathe, look like you, act like you, talk like you. Even if they don't, they are human beings and they should be treated with some kind of decency. They tore down their tents. They took their personal belongings, and when you're homeless, you don't have much. And they took everything that these people had. And then, as a concession, gave them 2 weeks in a hotel and told them to get back out on the streets, even though they promised them some actual help. They had so many different ways to address this problem with that 1.8 million, but they thought a statue was worth more than human lives. During a COVID pandemic that they created, if this ain't the definition of a political hoax, nothing else would make them stupid liberals believe it. They'll vote for their own damn death if they possibly could, just because they feel like they are being moralistic. And now they're compromising everything that Virginia has been. Virginia has been about picking a fellow man or woman up that has been knocked down, and especially saying, as long as you try and as long as you work hard, we will continue to try to point you in the right direction and make sure you have that extra rope and that extra lifeline to continue living out your dreams, no matter who you are. Because we understand that a second chance is always available when God is the one in control. I would never lie to people like this and tell them I'm going to do something for you. And what it was to get them out of a particular area. And once they had them out of that particular area, left them behind. All these different organizations have said that the city of Richmond hasn't done nothing for them. And you have Governor Northam up there on the podium talking about this disease is so serious. What about the disease that you're leaving in your city that you haven't even spent a dime on its treatment, and the treatment of ordinary citizens that you claim to represent are living on those streets right now, knowing exactly the bullshit you have. Anybody want to know about the Democratic Party? You go to a homeless person right now in the city of Richmond and ask them what they think, and ask them exactly how they was treated by the very people that people depended on for leadership. Merle Rutledge will address, not only will he address homelessness, he will make sure it is stomped out wherever it exists. We will give people the freedom of choice to either be where they can come up, address their issues, get the mental health services that they need, and get themselves back on track. And they will have a choice if they don't want to do that to have their own life, but they're going to have the freedom to make their choice. But they don't deserve to be lied to, period. I can't believe we paid $1.8 million for a statue, and we got people starving out on the street, sleeping in the cold with their families. You talk about cages near the border. We have cages right now. They just don't realize that they're in the cage, but that's exactly what it is. $1.8 million for a statue, while hundreds of people live, starve, and more on the street, dealing with the blistering cold and feeling like nobody gives a damn about them. Merle Rutledge definitely gives a damn about you, and I feel like this bullshit has to come to an end. Do you know in the city of Richmond to also step on the backs of the homeless while they was down? They require charity groups and more to pay for a permit to feed the homeless. You know how many times, friends, I have taken people out to dinner and out to lunch. Now you're saying I got to pay for a permit to feed one of my brothers or sisters that are out there hungry and needing something to eat. Just needing a moment for somebody to say that they still care and still want to see them not in that situation and doing what they can to make sure they do their part in helping people who don't have nothing. Right now, we are facing eviction issues all across Virginia, and what you see in Richmond is going to be a regular thing in your town, in your county, and in your city if we don't get to the bottom of this bullshit sooner than later. And that's exactly the problem that we are having right now here in Virginia. We have a lot of smoke and mirrors. That's why I got to tell you. And a lot of Democrats running off of, we will take care of you. If you was taking care of anybody, why am I seeing people sleeping out on a bench? Why do I see people sleeping in front of a store just trying to stay warm? And they just asking for somebody to walk over and just give them a nickel, give them a penny, give them a sandwich. Give them something to make them believe that they don't have to live like this too much longer, as long as they know that people will not give up on them. Now, some people are responsible for their own issues. That's just a fact. But what we can do for those who Northam left behind, we need to make sure that the Republican Party is not going to follow the same suit. Yes, it looks terrible for a city to be full of homeless, but it even looks worse on us to ignore it. Period. And to know that they have done all of this to the people who don't have lawyers. They can't afford them. They barely even have a sleeping bag, let alone is able to address any other issue that is out there that's pertinent to their welfare. And to know that this has happened and you have these same pieces of shit, let me pull them up onto the board, these two. They said they care about people. They said that they are here to make sure that this COVID-19 doesn't spread and that this pandemic, that nobody should be left without housing or a place to stay because it could spread. And now we are seeing exactly what it really is all about. When you go to a city, it looks real nice when you get there, but when you look behind that city, you see exactly what they've really been doing. And they've been ignoring the people. Now, my plan is simple. We will no longer have money to fund monument removal at any kind of form, size, shape, or form. We won't. we will do a complete ending of eliminating American history until your homeless problem is addressed. And that's exactly the best way for America to move forward, the best way for Virginia to move forward. Holding these officials accountable to their actions and to their promises. And the sad thing is, people will still vote for these idiots and not realize that you're voting to be another replacement for what you walk by every single day on the streets if you don't get woke up a lot sooner than later. So this is Merle Rutledge, and I'm making a guarantee that 1.8 million, which they could have got the job done for free, and to know that you did all of this, destroyed people's long lives, took their family pictures. A lot of these families only had, or a lot of these individuals that homeless only had, certain things that is priceless. And just to know they just took it. Didn't give them a chance to get it back. For the most part, it has been destroyed and left in the landfill. And to know that they did this and people were solid in the groups who was there trying to fight for them are now trying to fight for the little that they have left and not sure if they're going to ever be able to give them back what made them want to not give up. This is sad, people. This is the reality. People giving out, public officials and politicians giving out shutdown orders and restrictions and allowing these officials to do whatever they damn well want to. And they are claiming that they love Virginia. Well, you're now seeing exactly what hate in Virginia looks like. And it's these two bastards to my right is exactly what it looks like when you go somewhere looking for leadership that has long been gone. We have no excuse for this, people. None whatsoever. All these abandoned schools and all this other stuff that could have been renovated, 1.8 million could have housed all those people. Instead, they did it for a statue. So, Marxists, how you feel about that? Your statue is the reason why people are homeless right now on the street and ain't getting services that they need because of y'all bullshit. When I become governor of Virginia, Richmond won't look like that. I'm going to make sure you Marxists clean up that mess and reinstate those charges. And I guarantee you, Mayor Stoney and Ralph Northam and the rest of you Democrats, you will be held accountable because people need to see what you motherfuckers are really like. And I plan on making sure it's shown loud and clearly. Tomorrow, I'm coming to Richmond before I go out to Buchanan, Virginia. I'm going to show everybody what Richmond really looks like. And I hope this touches each and everybody who supports me and those who are paying attention to what I'm doing. To say we need to commit to making sure that these bastards on my right fulfill the promise that they guaranteed those people. Period. Because I'm not running just to be governor of a certain party. I'm running to be governor of Virginia. My name is Merle Rutledge, and I am the 2021 candidate for governor of Virginia, running for the Republican nomination. MAGA 2020.